Hello, Jasmine. We're just going to re-engage about our last lovely wee cat there.
Yes.
Yeah, about our last video, which got quite a few views and comments. But we're just talking about the reverse racism. We saw the horrific attack in Belfast, the attempted beheading, and the way
Yes.
people accuse, the genuine anger that rose up about and there was riots and stuff. Nobody's condoning rioting, but everybody forgets to condemn the original incident, and we get lectured as being racist for showing legitimate anger. I mean, who do you think is the real racist in all of this?
Well, I can only speak from my own experience. I've lived in Islamic countries for quite a long time, and I know the way they think about the West. First of all, they think, that the Western women are morally completely, gone beyond it. They see them as, loose women, whores. That's one of their terms that they use to describe Western women. Um, and they obviously, their religion does not respect any other religion than Islam. And that has to be said very clear.
So that is
They will
racist in itself, isn't it? Yeah.
they will tolerate, but they will never, accept or respect another religion other than Islam.
Mm.
And in their religion, there's actually a saying by the Prophet, that, if people hear about Islam and they do not convert, then they're condemned to hell and they deserve to be killed.
Yeah.
And it's the same with me. I'm an ex-Muslim.
Yeah. And
And
that's not tolerated, is it? No.
it's not tolerated. It's a fatwa. I
You
have a
said about
fatwa.
you said that you had that at home, and you came here
Yes.
to get away from that. And you mentioned there about a neighbour. Do you want to talk, who actually tried to put a curse on you because you wouldn't have kids? That happened
Yeah, I
recently.
had a
You were
Sudanese.
harassed. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a Sudanese lady in a refugee home beside me, and they put her there temporarily until they would find her some other accommodation. And she, we started talking. I do know Arabic, so I spoke to her in Arabic. And she started, about Islam and about, what I believe in. And it ended with her
And you
saying,
said you wanted you to have kids.
yeah, she said, it's a sin. It's our, we have to have children. It's Allah's will. And she said, if I do not produce children, then she will, possess me, and she will put a curse on me.
And you duly reported that to because
I did
that's
report
criminal
it.
harassment.
Yeah, it is. It was harassment, and apart from that, she came every day, complaining about the hospitals that they're not seeing her, when she rings them. And I did explain to her, that there are waiting lists, and that she's not the only one in the country that needs attention.
Yeah.
But in their minds, they have priority.
Over the Irish people themselves. And
Well,
you said that she wants to be bringing all of extended family over.
yeah, she
It's not just one or
insisted.
two. That's incredible. Like,
She insisted on staying in that house because she said her son with the 7 children and the wife,
they all want to come over.
they all want to
So
come.
look out, Ireland.
Yeah, well,
Jesus Christ.
all I can say, in my country, Germany, it's gone to a level where, women have to, plan the day ahead, if they want to go out and they come back at
Yeah.
night.
And what about the beheadings? You're saying that's par for the course over there now. You're saying, yeah. We
Well,
saw the one in Belfast.
there has been a few attempted beheadings and a proper
So it's not
beheading
just
done in Italy.
out of the blue. It's happening.
No, and the beheadings,
It's a jihad, you say.
it's the start of a jihad. So people are going to have to start, looking where they're going,
Yeah.
and they
Yeah.
have to,
Yeah. And we never had that.
I can only warn people,
Yeah.
the religion, they might seem quiet and,
But once the numbers get up,
but when they become a majority, it is in their religion. They have
Yeah,
to
yeah,
start
yeah,
a holy
yeah,
war
yeah.
in order to conquer the world. That's
Yeah, yeah.
what it says in the Quran. And this is why many of them are here.
Well, what about the leftists we're talking about? There's like they're useful idiots. They will not condemn. They have their head in the sand so much, and they blame the local people as racist. What do you think about that?
They don't know nothing about the religion. They know nothing about the history. They don't, some of them have not even been to an Islamic country. How are they in a position to judge what's coming? I mean, these people don't leave their countries for no reason.
Yeah.
There is reasons, you know, in some of their countries.
But the guy in Belfast that stabbed, he was from, wasn't it Sudan or was it Somalia? It was one of the islands. And he came through umpteen countries, obviously, like they all do. Came up on a bus from down south to arrive in Belfast. Apparently he was a police officer, so he was a bogus asylum seeker anyway. And he was just granted asylum just like that. And it's not racist to not want to be beheaded.
No,
You know,
of
it's
course
looking
it's not.
at.
It's not
I mean,
racism.
I will debunk Leo Varadkar, who said people are afraid of you rioters. No, they're not. They're afraid of people who are going around stabbing young kids in schools in Parnell Square. They're afraid of stabbers and beheaders in the streets of Belfast and head choppers. I'm not afraid of a rioter. I'm afraid of that going on in this island.
I mean, just to make it very clear, you know, there have always been foreigners living in Ireland, you know,
But they've
and
always
there wasn't
integrated.
any
There's
problem
always been integration.
anywhere, you know.
They're not going to integrate. That guy in Belfast, he's not going to integrate.
No,
either.
they won't integrate. You know, they will not. They come with this, you know, they have,
Yeah.
usually they're people, you know, who were not let into any of the Arab countries because they don't want terrorists. So if you're trying to go to Dubai, you know, and make it there, you can't if you have that sort of a background. He was, by the way, Sudanese from the police force. And they played a big part, you know, in terrorist acts.
But you were saying we had troubles in Ireland for a long time. It's like we all know. It's not going to take much more to kick off the troubles. It's almost started in all but name. Another one or two incidents like that there, and things are going to get really heavy, really hectic. People need to sort of wake up here. There is legitimate anger out there. I'm not condoning any rioting at all because it deflects from the point largely, and it gives the leftists a chance to sort of condemn that rather than focusing on the issue. But it's just a pattern. You get a horrific incident, then you get justifiable anger, then you get the elitists who will condemn the riots, and they don't condemn the incident.
But what are
That's the
people
textbook.
supposed to do?
Exactly.
People are not being listened to.
Exactly.
You know, people have voiced their concerns.
Exactly, they're not being listened
People
to.
have, you know, voiced their anger at what has been happening, and it's not just a single incident.
But Michelle O'Neill says that people had no alternative to the troubles. Well, sometimes maybe these people feel that there's no alternative because they're not being listened to, and they've said it umpteen times. These people that are being dumped into areas en masse, and it is causing friction. You know, there needs to be a root and branch change. But we'll finish up soon, Jasmine. But fascinating as always. How do you see the next while panning out?
Well, I'm deeply concerned, you know, and it's not just Ireland, it's everywhere in Europe, and what I see, you know, unless there is a political change, you know, that we get away from this woke leftism, you know, there will be a civil war, you know. I mean, it's very clear, the signs are there, you know. It needs a spark, anything else to happen.
And you're going to say, it's like the Irish Civil War, you're going to see families falling out with families over it. You can see that. It's almost like pick your side. It's almost like you're either on the side of mass immigration or you're on the side of foreigners. It's what side you're on and take it from there. Unfortunately,
there is no more, you know, there is no more reasonable thinking, you know. It's either this way or that way, you know.
Reasonable thinking,
you know, get rid of the ones that are criminal, get rid of the ones that have been here years just claiming, you know, welfare. You know, no intention to learn, no intention to work, no intention
it is just come here for the free stuff. You mentioned the person next door who had all this stuff given, and wanted
medical
to bring
equipment,
you
know,
name
the
it,
latest
and it was quite
smartphone, you know.
I mean, I can't afford half that myself, you know.
Yeah, but I mean, they are.
There's a sense of entitlement,
Yeah, there is a sense of entitlement. They think that that the West owes it to them, you know. They go back to colonial times.
And they don't even like they actually hate local people generally, don't they? Do you think they do?
I don't know if they hate them. I would say some of them do. Some of them, you know,
some do,
absolutely, you know, because the very religious fanatics, there is nothing but hate.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Well, I mean, say that guy that stabbed the wee kids in the school in Dublin, he was seen. There was evidence that he was seen going around saying "shit Irish,"
Well, they do that
hatred for the Irish.
everywhere, you
You know,
know.
so there is an element of hatred there.
There
Look,
is hatred.
there are good immigrants too. I mean, I've got some very close Filipino friends in America. There, they lived in Belfast. They work hard. They integrate very well. They don't want to.
Absolutely.
And there were Polish people and Czechoslovakian and who was, I think, Filipinos who were on the protests actually against this mass immigration. So we're not
Yes.
against immigrants per se. It never was about that. It's about the mass import of cultures that are foreign.
Well, it's funny you should mention Filipinos because they suffered a lot. You
Yeah,
know, they
yeah.
used to be, migrants to Arab countries, and they were treated really badly.
Yes.
There is a big element of
Like if you go,
racism
yes,
against Filipino
yeah,
people.
and
You know.
exactly, yeah. I mean, one of my very best friends is Filipino, and I was telling him about what was happening in Ireland there when I was on holiday, and he was said he wouldn't go back now because it was lovely when he was here, but
Yeah.
with what's going on now, he wouldn't come back. Not because of rioting, but the rioting is a symptom of the problem because of the mass immigration and the people that are not integrating and not working or contributing. You know.
And it's another big issue that you're mentioning here. You know, a lot of the very educated people, who would love to come, they say, no, but I'm not going to risk,
Yeah.
going to a country getting attacked,
Yeah.
by religious fanatics.
Yes.
Like for example, Filipinos,
Yeah.
who are known to be very
Yeah, I mean, it's subhuman to attempt to behead and cut that poor lad's eyes out. That is beyond. That made me
Well, it's the
physically
method.
sick to watch that.
It's the method. He tried to behead that person, and that's what you do to animals.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
slaughter. The
Yeah,
halal
yeah,
slaughter.
yeah, yeah.
And this is to show the disrespect. We disrespect you that much
Yeah.
that we slaughter you
Yeah.
like an animal.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know. So what does that say to you?
Shocking, Osman. Well, look, fascinating as always. Thank you very much. We'll reconvene again. Let's just hope that there's a sea change in attitude. But over and out. Slán go fóill.